Started in 1972 by a couple of American computer programmers, Atari made Pong, the first commercially successful computer game. Its secret was its simplicity. The home version was a little brown console you plugged into your TV. But it only played Pong, and pretty soon, people started to want more games. The 2600, the godfather of modern consoles, and the best-selling game system of all time. And the key was this slot here. It meant that you weren't just limited to playing Pong anymore. Now, you could load other games. In the early 80s, everybody was Star Wars crazy, so anything to do with space was hugely popular. All around the world, arcades were crammed full of people queuing to feed the slot machines to get their Space Invaders fix. But Atari's 2600 offered a way of enjoying the game at home, and in 1982, they sold 8 million consoles. Atari were America's fastest growing company, and the 2600 was on the top of every family's wish list. But then, in 1983, it all went wrong. In 1989, they spluttered back into life with the Atari Lynx, the first ever handheld games console with colour graphics. But the problem was the Nintendo Game Boy was half the price, half the size, and came with a phenomenon known as Tetris. So, no matter how good the Lynx was, it didn't stand a chance. And it disappeared without trace.
Welcome to the next big thing. Massive multiplayer online gaming. They may be computer games, but they spawn a billion-dollar real-world economy where people buy and sell their virtual assets, like islands, or weapons, or books of spells. Millions play them, and it's a phenomenon that's intriguing financial analysts the world over. They work like this. The game's developers have a bank of computer servers on which they host a virtual world. This enables hundreds of thousands of players to meet up and play simultaneously. Even when you log off, the virtual world continues expanding and developing thanks to the efforts of thousands of other game players, all in different time zones. Indeed, certain games have been running continuously for over 6 years. But up until now, massive multiplayer online games have been the reserve of hardcore PC and Mac-based gamers. However, the next generation of consoles have been designed to handle them, and deals are being done left, right and centre by Sony, Microsoft and Nintendo to secure the big-name multiplayer games for their consoles. Those big names at the moment are Final Fantasy XI, secured for the Xbox 360, EverQuest, actually made by Sony, Star Wars Galaxies, also Sony, and the most popular game of all, World of Warcraft, a fantasy game that's only been around for a year or so, but already has over 2 million subscribers. This little white box ushers in a whole new generation of games consoles, and by getting the 360 out on the market before Christmas, Microsoft are hoping it'll not only eclipse its predecessor, but also the opposition, namely Sony's PS3 and Nintendo's Revolution, both due for release well into 2006. There's no doubt that Sony won the last generation console war, outselling the Xbox by a factor of 5 to 1. Many people believe that part of the reason for that success is that they managed to get their console out a year ahead of Microsoft's Xbox. But Microsoft have learnt their lesson. They've got the jump this time around. But this thing had better be good, because if the Xbox 360 isn't everything that Microsoft promised, people are going to hold on to their pennies and wait for the PS3. And considering Microsoft have invested $4 billion in the development of this thing, that wouldn't go down well in the Gates household. We're in. The raw power of this machine is staggering. It's got 3 dedicated core processors, making it 10 times faster than the previous Xbox. It's got a dedicated graphics card, which is a match for any PC gaming card. But most importantly, it's the first ever games console that's high definition. Because all of this doesn't really mean anything unless these are up to the task. The games. The games have got to be able to take advantage of this awesome machine if it's to be as successful as Microsoft promise. And as a big driving sim fan, Project Gotham is one of my favourite games. They say, out of all the titles at launch, this is the one that will show you the true Xbox 360's capabilities. Well, it's the moment of truth. Let's see if it lives up to its expectations. Look at those graphics. Staggering. Oh my God, look. If that's the game, we're in business. Ah! I'll show you something amazing. Okay, they're the punters, look. I'm going to drive my car towards them. Look what the crowd do. They reel back. So I'm making them jump back, look. Can you see?
Ready? Well, we've managed to negotiate an exclusive sneak preview of Nintendo's brand new console, the Wii. And don't start giggling, it's spelled W-I-I. And as you'll be absolutely aware, Jason is completely obsessed with gaming, and the one gadget that he's been banging on about all year has been Nintendo Wii. So, let's get him down here.
Gosh. Oh, no, I don't believe that. Is it a working thing? Does it really work?
Yeah.
Do you
Do you have a go?
I am gobsmacked.
We're 15 all and you're serving.
Fantastic. Get in. Oh, no. Oh, man, isn't it amazing? It's just beautiful. Look at the controller.
Doesn't it really? It does really feel like playing tennis.
Does
it really
feel.
does.
Where did you get it from?
The president of Nintendo had to say it was okay for us to actually have it here.
Wow. God.
The Wii is due in the shops in December and will cost around about £180. But it does have some pretty clever tricks up its sleeve.
Yay!
Well played.
Not least of which is its control pad. It's stuffed full of motion sensors, and so rather than just hitting buttons to control gameplay, you can wield the controller like a tennis racket, a golf club, a sword, or whatever else it needs to be.
It's just different, it's unique, it's bold, and it's exciting.
It promises to take gaming to a new level of interactivity.
Yeah!
Are you ready?
I'm very ready.
Are you sure?
Yes, a little confused, but yeah. PlayStation 3.
Yep.
Absolutely gobsmacking. 5 months away from releasing this. This is like, have you got a future machine or something? Where did you get this from?
Well, I'll tell you that in a minute, but let's get it all plugged in and wired up because it's a fully working model.
The PS3 is the most eagerly awaited of the next-gen consoles. Why? Because of its incredible power.
Oh, it looks beautiful, doesn't it?
It's by far the most powerful console the world has ever seen.
That is beautiful. Look at that! Wow!
Its performance has been likened to having 7 or 8 high-spec PCs strapped together. The PS3 also has a cutting-edge graphics card supplied by gaming aficionados NVIDIA, which combined with its internal architecture means if you buy one, you'll be running a small supercomputer under your telly.
Oh my God, that was amazing! Oh, no! You wouldn't turn, honest!
And we haven't even mentioned its high-definition video Blu-ray drive. On release, it'll cost around £400, but don't bother putting a PS3 on your Christmas list. It's not due for a release until March 2007.
I'm here on Oxford Street. The time is 8:20. It's Thursday, the 22nd of March, and I'm here for the launch of Sony's PlayStation 3, which kicks off in about 3 hours, 40 minutes. Make that 3 hours, 39.
This Virgin Megastore on Oxford Street is the venue for the long-awaited launch. A league of punters have been here since yesterday.
I don't really know. I just wanted to get my hands on one.
Yeah.
I just heard all the hype, and that's pretty much it.
I hear you're number 2.
I have an essay due tomorrow and I'm finishing that off. No, not doing that now.
Excuse me, mate, is this the front of the queue?
Yeah, right.
You're number one in the... This is the real hardcore. Says, how long have you been waiting in this line?
41 hours.
41 hours?
Yeah.
OK, they seem like crazy fools, especially the one who's been waiting since yesterday morning, but they seem to be enjoying themselves.
10, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The clock finally struck midnight, and they were away. I feel really pleased for that lad. He's only a young lad, and as he's grabbing his money, look, and it's in cash. He's got his hands are shaking. Visibly, his hands are shaking. And it's obviously this really is a very, very important moment for him. Here he comes.
And here it is, the latest and possibly the best game for the console phenomenon that is Nintendo Wii. Last year, literally thousands of couch potatoes leapt into action playing the incredibly addictive Wii Sports. This year, Nintendo are taking physical gaming to a whole new level with Wii Fit. It comes with this clever peripheral, a balance board. By monitoring the pressure on the board, it translates your movements into the game. Now, there's loads of other physical activities you can do, snowboarding, skiing, boxing, and for you real dangerous sports fans, hula hooping. Woo! It's released in the UK on April the 25th, and then I reckon it'll quickly become the must-have gadget of 2008. Look out for the boot!
Oh! This is absolutely awesome. I can't believe they've done it again. I mean, you know, they dominated last year with the Wii, and they're going to do it again this year. I mean, this is just brilliant. And the notion that it'll make you a little bit fitter as well is just, you know, it's the golden ticket, isn't it? Mm-hmm. I just love Guitar Hero. It's our number 5 in our top 5 games. In this game, you battle against some of the greatest guitar legends in rock history and try to become one yourself. Simplicity is the key to the game's success. You just follow the notes on the screen and you hit the corresponding buttons on your guitar. And number 4, it's Pro Evolution Soccer 2008, which I'm playing on the Xbox 360. No, he's passed it because I pressed the wrong button. It's the 7th instalment of the Pro Evo series, and it's been described as the footballer's football game. Oh, great tackle. But if you like football action, this is it. International stadiums, names that you know and love, and great game-playing football action. Oh, just over the bar. The best golfing game of them all. The thing that I love about this game, though, is that from the very beginning, it has always made a point of having code in the game that enables you to use peripheral devices, and this is one of them. It's called the Golf Launchpad, and it's basically a real golf simulator that enables you to stand at home, put a game like this on your computer or your console, and use your real clubs. I was pretty pleased with that swing. It felt good. It felt like a balanced swing. I kept my head down, and the game, the software responded to it. Half-Life was the first shoot-'em-up that wasn't just a shoot-'em-up. Half-Life 2 continues its legacy of narrative-based gaming and puzzle solving. The Orange Box collection also includes Portal, which is a kind of brain training meets Crystal Maze game. There are also a couple of spin-off sequels and one of the best multiplayer games around, Team Fortress 2. To get all these quality games in just one package is amazing. Well, it'll come to no surprise for you first-person shooter fans out there that the number 1 position of our top 5 games is this, Call of Duty 4. It's a modern, sort of near-future, current warfare environment. And you know what? It works. It works better than any other first-person shooter game on the market, in my humble opinion. It looks fantastic. It's got Hollywood movie effects. And it has to be one of the most playable pieces of software I've ever come across. Handheld gaming. It's an area that has traditionally been the domain of Nintendo, first with their Game Boy, after that the Game Boy Advance, and most recently the ubiquitous DS. But the DS, 4 years on, is about to be replaced by this, the DSi. Isn't it gorgeous? But the question on every gamer's lips is the DSi good enough to continue Nintendo's global domination of handheld gaming? First up, we have an exclusive look at Nintendo's DSi. It's not released till the 3rd of April, but we've had one specially shipped over from Japan. The first thing you notice is that the DSi is thinner than the DS Lite, and its screens are bigger. 3 inches on the DS Lite, 3.25 inches on the DSi. Also, 2 0.3 megapixel cameras have been added, one on the inside hinge and one on the outer shell. These allow you to personalise your DSi and will in time play games that are currently being developed that use facial recognition. But right now, it's Modern Warfare 2 that everyone's talking about. Play it online and whatever your format, PC, PS3, Xbox 360, at whatever time of day, and you'll usually have a choice of around 500,000 other gamers across the globe to go up against. So I've specified a big 50-inch screen so that I can feel right in the middle of the action. To this, I've connected an Xbox 360 and controller, equipment I feel comfortable with. The only thing left to do now was choose my gun, and to ensure we remained on equal terms, I had to go with the same Heckler & Koch semi-automatic that Sid was using. Meanwhile, just across from my tented gaming enclosure, Sid was performing a final weapons check. This was it. We were both armed and set. There would be no going back. We were ready for the ultimate one-on-one first-person frag fest. Oh, I am so nervous, man. My hands are like wobbling.
3, 2, 1.
Go. We were off and immediately adopted different tactics. Sid went straight into a static shooting position, picking off a handful of targets in one go, while I set off immediately, taking my opening shots on the move. I was on fire! Run, run, run! Go, 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 go! I'd finished! Yes! And in one of my best times, 35.8 seconds. Yes! Oh, I'm so relieved! I need to know how Soldier Boy's done. It was a great time. I had to be in with a chance. But I was up against a highly trained Special Forces operative. Could I possibly have beaten his time on the real course? How did it go, man?
Hard and fast, my man.
Hard and fast,
Hard
yeah?
and fast.
Good work, man. What was his time?
I don't know.
What was the time?
42.1.
Yeah! I am, of course, talking about the Electronic Entertainment Expo, aka E3, the mecca for the gaming industry throughout the world, and it's the beginning of the 2010 gaming revolution. E3 has always been special for the gaming community, but this year's event was something different. Sony and Microsoft both had huge announcements in the hope they could capture the imagination of gamers over the next 12 months. And starting this year's revolution in gaming is this move on the PS3. There's a camera up there that tracks my squidgy glowing balls here that offer a lot more precision than we're used to with, say, the Wiimote and Nunchuck. And inside these devices, accelerometers, magnetometers, gyros that are capable of measuring my movements, how quickly I move, where I move. And what it makes for is a very physical, but this time, very precise gaming experience. Move is the first to hit market this September, and some of the games lined up include third-person shooter SOCOM 4, iPet, Little Big Planet 2, and Tiger Woods, all hoping to add dynamic and engaging experiences for anyone from the entire family to the hardcore gamer. But when it came to Microsoft, they used the event as a major showcase for their own motion controller. So this is quite momentous for me. This is one of my favourite driving games of all time, Forza, and I'm about to experience that with Kinect, which is a technology that, to say I'm excited about, is an understatement. Kinect has been at the forefront of the motion gaming revolution ever since Microsoft first announced it as Project Natal, and the technology has supposedly taken 20 years to develop. It's the first controller that requires no handheld device at all. It uses 2 cameras to track the player's 3D movements, voice and face, transforming how you play and experience games all together. OK, so I've just moved my hand and I'm starting the game. It requires no real knowledge, no training. It's so intuitive. I'm driving a beautiful Ferrari. There's a countdown. OK, this is it. OK, let's see what it's like. Oh, hang on. The steering, it's fantastic. It's really responsive. And so in terms of just jumping in and playing, the combination of Kinect and Forza from my first experience there is a winner. There are some games where a joypad just isn't enough. Games where you really need to get physical.
So at 5, it's Dance Central for Microsoft's brand new controller-free device, Kinect.
The game is brought to you by Harmonix, the people behind Rock Band, but instead of strumming on a plastic guitar hitting drums, you're dancing in space with your avatar on screen, following their moves. Or not, as the case may be.
It comes with over 600 dance moves from 90 routines, and my favourite, the freestyle mode.
Yeah! Doesn't matter whether you can dance or whether you're 5 or 55. This is really exciting.
In at 4, it's the expansion pack to one of the world's most popular games, World of Warcraft Cataclysm.
With over 12 million users worldwide, any expansion pack release for World of Warcraft is major news. Last time, Wrath of the Lich King sold 2.8 million copies in just 24 hours, making it the quickest selling video game of all time.
Cataclysm now features a whole new storyline, new areas to explore, new characters, dungeons and graphics, which make the game look more gorgeous than ever.
Ever since its release, I've been a huge fan of Assassin's Creed. I was also in the first game. I went to Montreal and was scanned in as one of the characters as part of a Gadget Show challenge. So, it will come as no surprise that I've included the latest iteration of Assassin's Creed, Brotherhood, in my top 5.
The game follows on directly from Assassin's Creed 2, where you take the reins of the main character, Ezio Auditore. But this time you're now a master assassin and create a brotherhood to take on the enemy.
The latest Assassin's Creed is bound to keep you gaming for months, if not years to come.
In at number 2, it's probably the most eagerly awaited and delayed driving game ever. It is, of course, Gran Turismo 5.
This is the game that took 5 years and $60 million to make. And the good news is, it looks like the latest Gran Turismo title was worth that time and money. 1,000 different cars to drive in 70 exciting and glorious locations.
And for the first time in the main series, online gameplay is available, damage to your car now appears, and you can even race in the dark. And my number 1 game is Call of Duty Black Ops.
Call of Duty is one of the largest grossing video games of all time. It's also one of the most successful entertainment franchises ever. And the good news is that Black Ops isn't letting those standards slide.
This time, rather than modern warfare, you take control of various special forces operatives during historic military moments, conducting covert ops in locations such as Cuba and Vietnam.
Visually, it's stunning, and the environment seems to happen in 360 degrees. So there's lots of action coming at you from all around in a way that I don't remember happening in MW2. MW2 certainly felt more railway track than this game does.
And over the goods.
Oh, it's the 3DS. They're not out in the UK for a few weeks, and as you can see, no glasses because they use auto-stereoscopic technology, which is brilliant. What do you think of the 3D?
It works.
It is good, isn't it?
Yeah, it is good.
Especially that football game.
Come on, come on.
You
Yes.
really get the sense of depth, don't you?
Yes, you do.
And more than that, it's got cameras, so you can take 3D pictures of your mates, which is fun. And it's also got Street Pass, which I know, Jason, you're going to be a big fan of.
This is the technology, the sort of socially networked game data. So say you've got a character that you've built up, you don't even need to be playing it. Your game data will be swapped with someone else on the street. They'll effectively virtually fight one another and compare game data. What I think is lovely about that is it's a really unique way to share the experience, you know, which is ultimately what this is about. If ever there was a game sharing platform, it's the DS, isn't it?
Little portable media device, and,
Yeah.
and obviously lots more content to come.
About gaming laptops, mini powerhouses that pack a bigger punch than many desktops. They have to have cutting-edge graphics and sound technology and looks that will strike fear into the hearts of your multiplayer opponents. These machines do not come cheap, but don't worry, because I'm willing to stake my gaming reputation on trying to find out just how low you can go and still get a great gaming laptop.
So, to discover the best you can get for your online frag sessions, we rounded up 3 of the latest state-of-the-art gaming laptops. The Alienware M17X, the MSI GT680 and the ROG X685.
But testing and playing these all on me Todd will be no fun at all. So I've got 2 of each laptop and 3 of the best gamers in the UK. Oh no.
A little bit wide there, Jason.
No! He's already taken me first corner. The Alienware is one of the most powerful gaming laptops money can buy, with some of the latest hardware inside, including Intel's turbo boosting technology and an amazingly clear HD screen, which combined should give a smooth and fast gaming experience. The Rock is the cheapest of the three laptops, but still packs an impressive 1.5 gig NVIDIA graphics card and a speedy Intel i5 processor.
I haven't got one hit on him yet.
As a tournament player who knows this inside out and all the timings, how are you finding the experience on the Rock?
It's literally like you're trudging through mud. It's awful. You know, this game is not very graphically intensive, so it's quite a surprise.
And finally, it was the latest laptop from MSI, the GT680, and the latest power-hungry first-person shooter, Crysis 2, which of course Zachabus was ready to teach me how to play.
Yeah, baby. Come on, keyboard.
With the feet up on the screen, I've got to say, I do lay some of the blame at the door of the MSI. I mean, it looks fantastic. The spec is impressive. To all intents and purposes, it really should eat this game up, but it's not.
I agree with you, Jason. I mean, it's just lagging all over the shop. I mean, every time you go for those crucial kills that you need to get, lag occurs, and it's frustrating.
The Rock gets 2 Gs. Even with its high spec, it failed to produce a convincing gaming performance with any of our games and really struggled with Crysis 2 on its highest settings. It's 3 Gs for the MSI. With its great metallic look, it performed well with Street Fighter and Shift 2, but when it came to our Crysis 2 tournaments, it wasn't 100% judder-free. And finally, it's 4 Gs for the Alienware, with great design and solid performance on most of the games. However, even it struggled with Crysis 2 at full res. This is Sony's PS Vita, and it's their successor to the PSP. It's going up in direct competition against Nintendo's 3DS, and it doesn't sport three-dimensional graphics. But what it does do is graphics in a handheld device the like of which you have never seen. It has 2 analog control sticks, a 5-inch capacitive OLED touchscreen, a touch surface on the back, quad-core graphics, and a motion-controlled gyroscope to create similar experiences to what we've come to know and love on the iPhone. That is brilliant. The Wii U is Nintendo's first high-definition graphics console, but the really unique selling point is their new controller, which is more like a tablet than a joypad. And the tablet is designed to allow you to interact with the game in the room around you, not just on the TV. It even allows you to keep playing the game when the TV's switched off. It will also let you play all your old Wii titles and will be compatible with Wii controllers and the balance board. And with Wii U dedicated Tekken and Tom Clancy games, we're looking at a whole new era of gaming fun. The only annoying thing is that we've got to wait until 2012 to get our hands on it. So if you're a gamer, this event shapes and dictates what you'll play and be able to buy. And this year saw 2 of the titans of the gaming world, Microsoft and Sony, officially launch their much-anticipated next-generation consoles, the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. To get a gamer's perspective on the Xbox One and PS4, we enlisted the help of gaming internet superstars KSI and Ali A. Priced at a hefty £429, manufacturers describe the new Xbox as an all-in-one system for games, live television, films and music. The impressive processing power means that the graphics on the Xbox One are a huge step up from its previous incarnation.
So here we're playing Rise on the Xbox. This is one of the most visually stunning games that was played so far on the Xbox One. This just really shows off the capabilities and the power, just the amount of stuff that's going on screen and the detail of the individual characters is amazing. You can definitely tell it's a next generation system.
But Sony will be launching the console at £349. And from the outset, there have been 0 restrictions on second-hand games and compulsory online connections.
It's good. Graphics are insane. This landscape, it looks really slick. You can definitely tell it's a next-gen console.
The console also comes with a bespoke controller, the DualShock 4, with a touchpad on top to interact with certain elements within your game.
The analog sticks feel a lot better as well. I definitely like the analog sticks.
My brother was obsessed with Elite. He absolutely loved it.
Older brother by any chance?
Yes.
And now I want to put you in a time machine, zoom you forward 30 years to 2014 and present to you in 4K no less, Elite Dangerous.
It's beautiful. I mean, this looks mega.
The game takes place amongst a 1-to-1 scale of the Milky Way, complete with planets and moons that rotate and orbit in real time. This is one of the most iconic images in all of gaming. It's the orbiting letterbox from the original Elite, and it's been dipped in graphical gold. This isn't a game that you just pop in, you turn on your console and you play for a couple of hours on a Friday night. It's a game that you live, it's a game that you get into, you get onto the forums, you find out information, you find out how things work, and you steadily build a life. Our number 2 PC game is iRacing, a true-to-life online racing simulator which boasts a community of over 50,000 members who race each other on laser-scanned replicas of real-world tracks like Silverstone or the Daytona Raceway.
Tell you what, I'd break now if I were you. Oh!
But the main reason we wanted to play iRacing was to test out this incredible rig. With 3 65-inch curved TVs, it's the world's first 1-to-1 ratio racing rig, meaning that the steering wheel and roads are all life-size.
This is just pure luxury, isn't it?
This is what you buy if money is no object, don't you think?
Of course.
This is what footballers have in their gaming room.
Yes. Oh no, it's coming for me!
Have you been taken out?
Yeah, that was horrendous.
Isn't it? This is Alien Isolation, an immersive stealth horror first-person shooter set in 2137, 15 years after the events of the Alien movie. The game takes place on a space station where an alien is terrorising the crew. So we know that this is a scary experience sat in front of your telly with the lights down.
It's an extremely well-made game. It's a very scary game anyway. This is next-level stuff.
But what makes this game even more immersive is the addition of Oculus Rift, and this second-gen developer's kit is staggering. The resolution of this Oculus unit compared to the one that I've got from even 12 months ago is much, much better. And I think, you know, this game, which, let's face it, scary, dark, sinister as it is also very beautiful. It's rendered really well in this headset.
Welcome to Control VR. They've developed some hardware that will put us in the games we play. Alex is the CEO.
We're going to give you a glimpse into the future today of how the physical and the virtual worlds are starting to converge.
These guys have developed a way to make your body the game controller. Traditionally, games are controlled with joypads, but this wearable prototype contains gyroscopes, accelerometers, and magnets that send movement data to a computer. So essentially, you become the joypad.
I'm excited.
An Oculus Rift headset is the icing on the cake.
There you go.
Oh, wow! Hey!
You can look down to your right, down to your left, and you'll see that there's cubes on both sides.
I can see the cubes.
If you reach out with between your thumb and your forefinger and you grab one of these blocks.
Yep.
There you go.
Yep.
Now you're going to hold it above the table and drop it.
Real sticky fingers.
Okay, there we are.
In the future, Alex sees this being used beyond gaming, possibly replacing the computer keyboard and mouse, especially as it becomes even more affordable.
Okay, I'm going to take these off now.
Oh, welcome back.
Thank you.
This is Minecraft, a cross-platform computer game created back in 2009 by Swedish games developer Marcus Persson.
Minecraft is one of the biggest-selling games of all time. 70 million copies have been snapped up. That's more than the UK's population. And it's still selling at the rate of 15,000 a day.
So it's all about experimenting. You can do all kinds of builds. You can make things absolutely huge projects. You can do small little houses. You can do as much or as little as you want, really.
Yeah, I can actually create Western-Supermare Odeon in all its Art Deco glory.
It is quite addictive. Kind of enjoying building a little house.
Oh look, it's my house.
Maybe I could build Castle Grayskull.
So this is the Nintendo Switch, and it is the most hotly anticipated game console release of the year. Can you contain your excitement, Craig?
I can but try, Georgie, I can but try.
Okay, so this is 1-2 Switch, and we're currently playing a game of table tennis, but what's different about this is that you're not meant to look at the screen, you're meant to look at each other's eyes.
Well, how can you play it if you can't see the screen?
You've got to listen.
Yeah,
Listen.
it's all about listening to where the ball is, and you get a vibration, but actually it's quite intuitive, isn't it?
It is, it is. It's worth noting that there are newer versions of Zelda.
Massive game.
Absolutely, and Just Dance as well, which is right up my street.
This is a PlayStation VR. I thought we'd play with it today because it's been out just since the end of last year, but they've already sold more than 1 million of them.
What about the games, though? What are the killer games, the must-haves for VR freaks?
I mean, there are a few that I've heard are good, like Batman for Arkham VR, so you can pretend to be Batman. Or Resident Evil, if you like horror games, they're always good in VR.
I try to be Batman every Saturday night.
Yeah, so Star Trek Bridge Crew sounds like the game for you. It's social VR as well, so it's not as isolating as just one of you in one of these. You play with your friends, one is the captain, one's the engineer.
Yeah, but if you get hit by the lasers, you have to do all that.
Yeah, but people who are into shooters might be happy to know that there's a first-person shooter called Farpoint that's just out for VR, and I brought it with me so you can have a go.
Wow.
You've crash-landed on an alien planet in this game, and of course the aliens are hostile.
Okay.
So if you walk through, in that direction, you'll probably find yourself being attacked imminently, so watch out.
Bring it up.
And
This
the first
is
aliens
so
look like spiders. 'Cause they always do.
realistic. Oh, God!
Oh, there's one.
This is so realistic.
If you hold up the gun, you can look through the sights as well.
Yeah.
Can you see that?
Yeah, I can see the red sight.
This is the Oculus Go, which will come in at £199 for the 32 gig model. Should we take a look?
Why is everyone getting so excited about
They're
it?
getting excited, Craig, because look! No wires or cables to get caught up in. It is one standalone unit.
So where'd you get the content from, then?
From an app called Melody VR, which is available in Oculus's App Store.
I'm at a rock concert, and I'm actually on stage at the concert. I'm actually standing next to the keyboard player, and he's just began playing.
Well, what Oculus have done, which is quite cool actually, is they've built the speaker into this handle here, which directs the sound into your ears very well and not so much spill to others around you. But if you want the fully immersive sonic experience, you can just plug your headphones in. Now, you see, it's really cool that you can pick your spot anywhere within the arena. The hope is that one day you'll be able to buy VR tickets to a gig that you can't actually make in person.
And if you're a band, it means you can do a gig to like 1, 2, 3 million people at one go.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
First up, making the transition from my Xbox One X to my Xbox Series X felt seamless. The user interface is basically the same, and I could bring across all of my settings and my saved games. The controller feels really familiar too. There's a new share button and it's grippier, but apart from that, it feels basically the same as the Xbox One. All in all, you could be forgiven for forgetting that you're playing on a new console at all. And one of the reasons for that is at launch, there are no new games that are exclusive to the new Xbox. No games that you need the new Xbox to play. You're probably more likely to notice the improved lighting effects, thanks to things like improved HDR and the newly supported hardware-accelerated ray tracing, which had me stopping to look at my reflection in puddles when I was playing Watch Dogs Legion. So now, of course, it's time for the PlayStation 5. And today, I get to see how they stack up. And while the PlayStation 5 looks very different from the Xbox Series X, if you lift the lid, their specs are relatively similar. Now, if you want to get really nerdy, the Series X has slightly more CPU and GPU power, while the PlayStation 5 has gone for a variable frequency approach that gives developers a little more to play with. But look, it's negligible. Both consoles can produce 4K resolutions, even up to 8K if you really want, and frame rates of up to 120 frames per second, which is why I've been testing them both on this 120Hz television. Well, if you're looking for a way that the PS5 stands out, the controller, which is now called DualSense. So it keeps some of the features from the DualShock 4, like the touchpad and the motion sensor and the integrated speaker, but it has two new ones, haptic feedback and adaptive triggers. And all of this tech really comes alive in the pre-installed and pretty cute platforming game Astro's Playroom. The haptic feedback uses dynamic vibrations to produce an impressive range of sensations. You can really feel Astrobot walking on sand and feel raindrops falling on their umbrella. And the adaptive triggers provide varying levels of resistance, making some actions feel much more difficult than others, which provides an element of realism to your play.